What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon. I'm here today. It is Wednesday. There's no OTA practice today. I believe again they will hit the field tomorrow. But there are a couple things that I wanted to talk about really fast. Couple Dolphins related things. One non-Dolphins related thing that not directly related to the Dolphins that I know everybody's gonna hate that I'm gonna talk about, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway, so go fuck yourselves. All right. I'm just kidding. I am going to talk about it anyway, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So first of all, it looks like the Dolphins have brought in Connor Barwin. They did, an interview with him. They had a visit with him. He's a defensive end, outside linebacker, whatever. We need pass rush. He's good at that. He's got 56.5 sacks in his 10-year career. He's a veteran. He's, blah, 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 blah. I guess depending on the price, whatever, it wouldn't be a terrible pickup. He is getting old, so, there's always that concern of, can he maintain production and so on and so forth. But I guess I wouldn't hate it. There's no deal as of right now. So bringing in Connor Barwin, honestly, I don't think it's like super necessary, because like I said, we do need pass rush though, is really the only thing. But having said that, I like our linebackers, and our D-line's really what's going to have to step up. But with Christian Wilkins, it looks like there is a potential that we could end up having some more pressure up the middle, which then would give our edge rushers a little bit more of a chance. And if we're going to be running a 4-3-3-4 hybrid and running more 3-4 stuff, then you would need your linebackers to do some more of the pass rushing and obviously use corners and safeties occasionally as well. So it could be useless because we have guys, they brought in Jaron Elliott from the AAF. He led the AAF in sacks. He's an outside linebacker / DE. So, there's guys, like I said, I wouldn't hate it as long as the price isn't too bad. But like I said, also, there isn't actually anything done at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Let's see. The next thing that I want to talk about is the Reshad Jones thing real quick, because there's a lot of people that are going back and forth about this. So real quick, from Omar Kelly, and like I said, with Omar Kelly, like half the time I agree with him, and then like half the time he just sounds like a fucking clown. Anyway, but in this case, I'm going to quote him here. So a tweet he put out, because I want to talk about this a little bit. And I actually agree with this. So this whole Reshad Jones OTA discussion is simply about shaming a professional athlete due to focusing on themselves. How do you folks even know Jones would be on the field since he had his shoulder reconstructed this offseason? Those facts aren't important, right? So look, in this particular case, he's absolutely right. Reshad Jones, there's no guarantee that Reshad Jones would have been on the field right now because he did have his shoulder reconstructed, and he might not be, it's possible he might not be cleared for it. Now, having said that, he is doing work on his own. I don't know to what extent, so maybe his shoulder is good to go and ready, but regardless, it doesn't matter. It's voluntary. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't think it's a big deal. But going on, because there were more tweets about it and stuff, right? So, where is it? There was one in particular that I thought was really interesting. Oh, here we go. So, from Chris Kaufman, he had tweeted, Reshad Jones is set to make $13 million cash this year, $11 million of which is guaranteed. He should be out on the field learning the new defense and the new program. No excuses. See, I don't agree with that. And, frankly, I don't think that the money is really even all that relevant. One, it's voluntary. So that's argument enough. He can decide if he wants to come or not. It doesn't fucking matter. Two, there's the factor of his shoulder, which is contextual and matters, right? It is important to think about. And then so the response to that from Finzone was disagree. If a player feels he trains better one-on-one with his trainer in his own environment, I'm all for letting the player do that. Reshad has been missing voluntary camps for years, and every season he does his job at a high rate. He has all summer to learn the new defense. Facts. He's got all summer in training camp. He's got mandatory veteran mini camp that's coming up. He's got all this time to learn the new defense. He's a veteran. He's a savvy guy. He knows what he's doing. And if he feels, it's like Ndamukong Suh when he was here or whatever. Like, who fucking cares? Go fucking train on your own. I think it's just a silly thing. And I think it's just one of those things that people fucking talk about just to bring up fucking, or just to create drama. Anyway, and so the last thing that I want to talk about, that, and this is the one that I know everybody's gonna like fucking hate, but it is indirectly related to the Dolphins, only because it involves a division rival. And as I've told you guys, I like the dude and I intend on following his career, so sorry. But it looks like the Jets fired Mike Maccagnan, I believe his name is. Yeah, Mike Maccagnan, their GM. And guess who's the interim GM, or the acting GM? Our boy, Adam Gase. I mean, look, you know, you could say, and people, I'm sure people will have some opinions about the Jets and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, people are going to have their opinions about Gase. But look, I mean, you know, and so it's funny, though, because real quick, I do want to read a tweet about that. Let's see. Where was it? Oh, so this, and so earlier I read you know, just a minute ago, I read you the tweet by Finzone in response to Chris Kaufman's tweet, and it made total sense. I loved it, right? But then he responds to this, because Adam Schefter tweeted out, Adam Gase is the Jets interim GM, and then Finzone puts out, laugh my ass off, the Jets just replicated 3 years of mistakes the Dolphins made in a single day. Look, no matter what you think about Gase, I mean, that, just as it is, right? That sentence is completely absurd. Because remember, the first year Gase was here, we went to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. And from that time period, and he did it with just an average, mediocre roster, right? Having, you know, being a first-year head coach and, you know, just beginning his culture and so on and so forth. And then again, of course, the vast majority of problems and issues and things that arose over the last 2 years were not even anywhere close to his fault. So, but anyway, so 3 years of mistakes that the Dolphins made. I mean, come on, that's just absolutely silly. If anything, you would say 2 years, because he did great in his first year, and really that's not even fair, because again, most of that wasn't even attributed to him. But so I think it's really fascinating. Look, I mean, because you look at the Dolphins' perspective, they had a guy who was 3 years into his tenure. He went to the playoffs in the first year as a head coach. And then had a couple down years, but still won 6 games at least in those 2 years. Was still, you know, above 500 the second year, 9-7, right? And so, or one of those years, right? So it was a 10-6, a 9-7, and a 6-10, right? I mean, that's not that bad for a brand new regime, especially one that just went to the playoffs. Anyway, so, you know, the Dolphins didn't have patience. That wasn't enough for them or for us or for the fans or whoever the fuck, so they get rid of him. Now the Jets bring him in. Not only did they bring him in immediately, and of course, and it's not even about the Jets. Of course, Adam Gase was going to get another job, and not only that, but it was highly likely that he was going to get a head coaching job, and he did immediately. And now look, they've made him the GM, so apparently they think very highly of him. You know, so, I mean, it is what it is. I know Dolphins fans are just going to be super salty and sour about it, especially because I'm talking about it. But whatever, dude. Look, man, be all up in your feelings. I don't care. Anyway, so I just think it's funny. And so, look, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm going to follow it because it interests me. And, you know, because I think he did a lot of wonderful things for this team. And I think that he was unduly fired. I just thought it was too soon. You know, I mean, if you know, if he was given the next 2 seasons, right, this year and next year, and then, you know, he couldn't pull it out, you know, and turn it around, okay, fine. But again, I don't care who the regime is. I advocate for 5 years. So if for some reason, again, and I'll say this one final time, if for some reason this regime sucks for the next couple years, 2 or 3 years, I don't care. I still want them to have the full 5 because I don't think that you can adequately judge a regime or a coaching staff, front office, whatever, who it is, doesn't matter, in the first 3 years. I don't think it's enough time because it doesn't give you enough time to get drafts. It doesn't give and then develop those players. And with drafted players, I don't think you can judge drafted players until the end of their rookie contracts. So having said that, you need to give the coaching staff and regime 5 years. I mean, think about that. If you give a coaching staff and a regime 5 years, you're only going to have 2 drafts who have fully gone through their rookie contracts, right? And then obviously it'll be, you know, whatever, over the, you know, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So anyway. Look, you guys get the points. I'm still gonna follow his career, and like, I mean, at the end of the day, it is super relevant anyway because he is a division rival. We have to play them twice a year, and I mean, if you want to be successful in this league, you got to do well against your division. And you know, unfortunately, overall, I think we have taken a step back on that. Now, if they do some things right, you know, and if they keep doing things like, you know, like how they handled Xavier Howard, then, you know, they stand a chance and they can maybe, you know, turn it around faster than what I foresee at this particular moment. But it's going to take some work, and I'm definitely going to keep following Adam Gase's career. As well as Tannehill, you know, because I like Tannehill and I want to see how he does as well. Plus, I don't get how people have like such personal vendettas against people. Like, it just blows my mind. Like, how do people get so salty, so like emotionally disturbed and upset at these people? Like, the way that some people like just absolutely personally loathe Ryan Tannehill is absurd to me. Absolutely absurd to me. You don't know the dude. You've never met him in your life, most likely. You know, like, it's, why do you hate the dude as a person or fucking, you know? And like, part of hating it, you know, like, a lot of people might be like, oh, well, I don't hate him as a person, but like, blah, 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 he sucks. Well, if you're shitting on him so hard, then it's kind of personal. Anyway, so that shit just blows my mind. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoy my videos. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section, and as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
Done in the past in New England on defense?
I mean, everything's really similar. You know, the way that, you know, our coach Boyer, how he wants the corners to be played, how the flow wants the defense to be ran, you know, kind of what everybody expects. I mean, what the coaches expect. I mean, everything's really similar, so it's nothing new to me.
And does that give you an advantage?
I wouldn't say advantage. It would give me advantage, like, personally, you know, so I can improve my techniques, not focus on, you know, learning new calls, new terms, you know, maybe like to some other players that have to put that, you know, in their mind. For me, it's just like, all right, well, I already know the terms. Now, you know, get better myself.
So when the defense had to run and touch the wall, that was because 10 players were on the field, or is that another day?
No, I mean, I think it was 10, either 10 or 12 players. We couldn't get the right amount of people in there or something, and that's just a mistake that obviously in the game that'll be a penalty, or if it's 10, that'll just hurt you on defense. You know, stuff that, you know, mistakes that we just can't make.
And so what does running cross field and touching it do for you physically from a physical standpoint?
I mean, it hurts. Even though it's a slight jog, I mean, from running way over there, I mean, it's tiring. So, I mean, you don't want to make mistakes like that. I think it's just more, not a physical thing, but it's more of a mental thing. Like, we can't we can't have fumble just on a, ball security issue or false start, or, if the QB fumbled the center exchange, stuff that, really doesn't take much effort to, get right.
The fact you have the most experience with, the fact that you have the most experience with Coach, what should we expect? What should the team expect, from Coach Flores?
I mean, they will expect. I mean, they will expect competition. He'll put. I mean, there's a lot of good guys. Defensive-wise, I don't even know much about offense, but defensive-wise, a lot of good guys in each position that everyone's competing. And so, I mean, that's what everybody expects from him. Like, to kind of get everybody to improve each day. Because if you're complacent because there's no one pushing you, then you won't get better. So everybody know. I mean, so I know. I think the team should know that he's going to have competition, just each position just rolling through to make everybody better.
Great team, great young team, new coaching staff coming out here to build a championship playoff caliber type of team, and getting the opportunity to play for this great organization with a great history. It's a true blessing. I'm glad to be here.
You played at La Tech, but your last 6 years in Chicago and Buffalo, do you have much of a readjustment to the weather?
I'm from Louisiana, man. It ain't much of an adjustment, man. Even though I've been to Chicago and weather, I still go home in the off season, and the weather is no different. So, it gets hot. I'm not saying I can, push through. Well, I can push through, but I'm not saying that I'm the guy that can just deal with it all the time. The heat is the heat. Even y'all standing outside in the bleachers, you still feel it. So, hey, I'm a Louisiana guy, and I've been dealing with it my whole life.
Having played the number of games you have, do you walk in the room and see kind of all the eyes focus on you, like you got the most experience?
I got a lot of experience. Some of these guys do, like LT and Kilgore and the rest of the guys. Man, I'm just coming in to add my, my savvy, my experience, and just come out here and compete and work hard every day. And that's the, the task at hand right now, to come in and help this team get better each day.
Alright guys, so you've reached the end of my video, you've reached the end of the interviews, and I hope you guys enjoy my video. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section, and as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.